Hi, so in this reading record, I'm analyzing one of the questions that we have from Edmoda. This is question number 3. It says, is Shylock simply a deeply wicked man, a beast, a stereotypical Jewish villain of medieval and Renaissance imagination, or is he the tragic hero of this comedy? And this is referring to The Merchant of Venice. So, although depicted as a greedy, revenge-seeking Jewish usurer, Shylock's loss of wealth and family and his discrimination makes him the tragic hero of The Merchant of Venice. To begin, we have the loss of Shylock's wealth and his family, and his daughter Jessica runs away and converts to Christianity so she can be with her true love, Lorenzo. She leaves, but she takes with her money from Shylock, and we don't really see this, but we hear that Shylock cries and weeps, and he says, "My daughter, oh my ducats." And so, as the reader, we're confused as to if he's really crying and weeping over his daughter, if he's crying and weeping over his money. So it could be both, it could be one or the other. But again, it's a tragedy for him because he's lost that part of him. Whatever it is that he loves deeply, whether that's his daughter, his money, or both, he's lost that. And so he tries so hard to get it back, and he associates the bond that he and Antonia made with the fact that Jessica, his daughter, has left with his money. So he believes that Antonio has had something to do with his wealth and his family being gone. So he goes and he tries to seek justice against Antonio by forcing Antonio into the bond, making him, or trying to make him, give up a pound of his flesh. Unfortunately, Shylock's plan does not go the way he wants. And because of Portia and her skills as a doctor of law, Shylock is forced to give up all of his possessions. And this justice that he tried to seek is kind of turned around on him. So he's made to be the enemy or the antagonist in this play. But in actuality, he's the tragic hero. He's the one that all of these bad things are happening to him. And it's just a tragedy for him because he's forced to convert to Christianity. And this might be more of a nod towards the anti-Semitism that was found throughout Shakespeare's time. But he loses his family, and he loses his Jewish heritage, his Jewish culture, and being able to associate himself with that culture. So not only does he lose all his family and his wealth, he loses that Jewish bond that he has. And this is also what contributes to Shylock being the tragic hero in The Merchant of Venice. Another thing that I kind of touched on was the anti-Semitism. And we could also say discrimination that is seen through The Merchant of Venice in regards to Shylock. In the scene where Shylock gives his monologue about his discrimination, you see Solario and Salarino talking, and I can't remember which one it was, but one of them said how they compared Shylock to the devil. So it's going back to that, is Shylock a stereotypical Jewish villain? And in that respect, he could be. But I think he's more tragic because of the way that they're discriminating against him. They're making fun of him and poking at him when he's lost his family. His daughter just ran away with his money. So he wishes his daughter dead. He's so depressed and everything. And they continue to say, "Oh yeah, we had a part in it. We know, ha ha ha. It's your fault. It's all in your face." But he's referring to Antonio when he says, "He hath disgraced me and hindered me $500,000. And he goes on, he says he's cooled my friends, he didn't mind enemies. And what's his reason? I am a Jew. So he starts asking, why we Jews and Christians are very similar in many ways. So why would you try to discriminate against us? And one thing that he says that goes to the justice that he tries to seek against Antonio is that if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? So he's saying that just the same as a Christian would want to seek revenge against someone who's done them wrong, a Jew will do the same thing. So then he says, the villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it shall go hard, but I will better the instruction. So we see this villainy portrayed in Shylock through the trial scene when he's trying to gain that pound of flesh from Antonio, and this one act would kill Antonio, but he tries it anyways to seek that justice and to go back to show, oh, this is what the Christians have taught me. The villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it shall go hard, but I will better the instruction. So overall, Shylock is portrayed in The Merchant of Venice as being a villain, an antagonist, a stereotypical Jewish usurer in the imagination, but he's kind of experienced the majority of the tragedy that is seen throughout the play. Much of what you would deem tragic or sad or depressing in The Merchant of Venice happens to Shylock. And there's not much of the comedic aspect in the parts of the play where Shylock is mentioned. So Shylock is portrayed as being the tragic hero in that he loses his family, he loses his wealth, and then he also is discriminated against based on the anti-Semitism that is seen in Venice at this time. So this is my answer to my question, and I'll talk to you later.